This video is in no way, shape, or form sponsored or supported by Young Living, Sarah Harnisch, Sushi, et al. This commentary is protected by fair use. And before anyone gets cute with a copyright claim, I'm not reposting, I'm exposing. There's a difference, and one of them involves receipts.
Hello. I'm late. My face is still like, how's everyone doing? I'm overheated. I was like, change my shirt. Like I can't turn sideways because this is the coolest shirt I have. I do know that we have a little bit of dirty audio. I didn't have time to fix it because technical difficulties, but I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for waiting. I did send out the remind alert right when I went live, so maybe that will be our saving grace in the future of don't trust my scheduled start time. I will text on the Remind app. So, hope y'all had some fun chatting in the chat, but what am I doing? All right, let's go. I'm putting my shoe off. Oh, well, if you have been maybe living under a rock or haven't run into any anti-MLM content, Jessie Lee Ward was a powerhouse. Outspoken, unapologetic, built like a freight train of charisma with a ring light. And when she got cancer, she didn't go quietly. She chose to fight her way with supplements, oils, mindset coaching, and protocols that promised hope, but never showed proof. Sound familiar? Jessie Lee passed away in 2023. Her legacy, depending on who you ask, is either one of empowerment or a cautionary tale. Y'all know which one I think that is. And now, there's Sarah Harish. She's not just a name in Young Living, she is the name. A leader, a recruiter, a best-selling author in the oily world who openly calls her cancer sushi. Yes, sushi. She claims to be healing herself naturally, no chemo, no radiation, kind of a patched together oncology team, mostly essential oils, coffee enemas, Bible verses, and beliefs. And she's broadcasting this as if it's a blueprint for others to follow. But this isn't just another Young Living influencer with questionable advice. This is dangerous. Insert next. Insert next. Disclaimer. I'll be back. Content warning. The big C.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I've been stuck on your memory, but it's not like I need it. And we may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us.
Also, this is a really good point. Becca said, I think her legacy can be both. She was successful in what she did for work, but the other stuff is 100% a cautionary tale. Yeah, I think she was charismatic, for sure. I think that she had the ability to engender loyalty at her followers' expense because sometimes she did not respect that respect what a big deal it was for people to trust her, and she definitely made some big missteps in backing up the trust that people gave her with action that kept the people around her safe, in my opinion. But I absolutely, people miss Jessie Lee, her family for sure, her friends for sure. Yeah, I think mostly we're keeping this, again, just to say, yes, I think it can be both. Because I don't want to participate in an either or fallacy this early on in the stream. But I knew of Sarah Harnisch when I was in Young Living. We were told to buy one of Sarah Harnisch's books. And that's how Sarah Harnisch has been slapped by Young Living so many times for, what am I going to say? Claims she cannot be making. And she had to go before Young Living and do a certain, I think like 40 hours of compliance training. It's in her book. Not that I recommend you buying it, but, sorry. My hair may be going on top of my head at the end. She had to go under like 40 hours of compliance training and then it can show them that she understood like what she was saying. But I think at this point, her videos show like she doesn't give a shit about compliance, in my opinion. And before we get into these videos, I'm glad she's still alive. I'm glad her kids still have her as a mom. I'm glad her husband still has her as a wife. I'm glad her friends still have her as a friend. I don't love, 0%, do not recommend listening to her for medical advice. She definitely fearmongers and villainizes, in my opinion, medical treatment that is supported by science, and it gets twisty fast. She calls it sushi because either she doesn't want to speak this big C word over herself, or she thinks like her thoughts impact her body in some kind of physical way. It's one of those. It's very twisty. Hello, Kathy. I have it as an unlisted video, but I will definitely post it. Thank you, Avery. Hello, squirrels. Can y'all see me? Yes, we can. Howdy, hey. Can we pin a trigger warning? I would love to. Let me pin that real quick. Trigger warning. Cancer. Pseudoscience. Medically. All right, that's a pin. All right, it's pinned at the top. Yeah, I mean, again, like I've said, when Jessie Lee was fighting cancer, I support anybody's decision to do what they want to do with their body. I have the sliver of commentary on if you start to tell other people that your method is supported by science and it's not, or your method is above another method and you're scaring other people away from that method and that being the scientifically founded one. I have an issue with that too. I have a double issue. Yes. Yes, she does. She thinks, as in many of the MLM circles, that's why they don't want you asking negative questions. They think what you say contaminates you and contaminates other people. Contaminates like your energy and stuff like that. Misinformation is deadly, yes. If y'all haven't seen the medical medium stream I did a while ago, I've also streamed a video on Sarah Harish where we looked at one of the videos of what she does for her routine. Her coffee enemas with essential oils, her what is it called? The same thing that Jessie Lee had, that chamber, hyperbaric chamber, the machine that shakes your whole body aggressively to impact her lymph nodes. She goes down to Tijuana, Mexico, to a special cancer facility. It's either like Cancer for Hope or something like that. She spends, when she was in the thick of it, she was spending 12 hours a day fighting her cancer. Oh, she was also doing the cold plunge and the IV stuff. Literally, blueprint for blueprint, what Jessie Lee was doing. And this lady had cancer before Jessie Lee got her cancer, and she's still alive. I can repeat the sky is green all day, but it's still going to be blue. Yeah, it's a logical fallacy. It's a part to whole fallacy where you think what works for you is going to work for everyone. I guess we should just play the part to whole fallacy real quick. If I can. Hold apart. Part to whole. What is the composition fallacy, or part to whole? Assuming what's true for one part of something is automatically true for the whole group. For example, one shady salesperson is dishonest, so the entire MLM must be full of liars. I didn't mean to blast y'all's eardrums. I know we have some dirty audio. I'm doing the best I can. It's tough over here. I can hear it too. That's okay. My mom's like, no one's going to be upset by the audio. And I'm like, I'm upset by the audio. Hi, Chelsea. Over 100,000. Probably over 100,000. Just to paint the picture even more detailed for you, this lady has stayed at Gary Young's house. She knew Gary Young when she was alive. They're very supportive of her cancer. The action she's taking to heal herself of cancer. Obviously, Gary Young passed away in 2018. She's very much well known to all the people in Young Living, and she has a bunch of people following her in her cancer journey because they are taking her medical advice. Hello, Chelsea. Good to see you. If you're a sciencey person, you're gonna rage, and I'm so sorry about that. I think it's important to talk about. I'm just gonna pull her up over here. I'm gonna also really quickly link my.
Hey everybody,
I'm making these like dossiers. There's just a fancy version of like everything you need to know about a company. Because sometimes when you are popping into MLM stuff, you may have been in Sensi, but you have no idea about Young Living, and you have these questions like, when did they start? Who's the CEO? What are the ranks? All this other stuff, and I'm working to put those together so that y'all can download it or you can look at it, but I want to put it I want to link it in the description real quick so y'all can download it and read it if you want at your own convenience. God dang it. I'm having technical difficulties. Okay. My God. Copy link. Pray for me, pray for my computer. I'm just kidding. Share. Share. I'm just losing it. Share. Copy link. Dear God, edit. It's going to be at the bottom of, well, I'll put it at the top. All right, the Google link is there. And I'll pull it up over here. Give me a it's not going to be perfect. It's just the best I have right now, if that makes sense. Also, rip to all y'all's crafts. Please don't throw them too hard as we look through this stuff. What do I want to say? Do not touch the poop. She's a public figure. She has 4.9 thousand friends, and she's got like 21,000 people following her. She has a bunch of other followers on other platforms, and we're going to read her post first. If I can click on it. Sorry. I wish I could have my view button. Can I just zoom in? Sure can't. Okay. What do I want to do? This is her public page, but I don't want to, where's her post? I have the post. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up where we don't have to see it. I just hear that noise. I'm so sorry, guys. I wonder what I do with this. No. Excellent. All right. Oh, I don't like the ball because if I'm working on a surface, I want to be able to stack them. Oh, y'all are asking somebody else. Never mind. Welcome. Okay. Don't use essential oils in your ball winder. Oh, you machine it? That's super cool. I like to stack mine, and I like pulling it where it doesn't roll around. Anyways, okay. So this is Sarah. This is one of her posts. Let me see if I can zoom in. All right. Thursday was a whirlwind of a day. I flew into MD Anderson for an entire day of surgery prep to remove my right ovary, but they scanned me and wanted to take the left. At the end of the scan, the tech said, "Stay on the table. I need to talk to the radiologist to see if he wants a better scan." With no explanation, she left, and they decided I would meet with oncology first. The surgeon came in and said, "We are set for surgery, May 21st on your left ovary." But I had come in for my right ovary, the one with the complex cyst that was still there, the ovary radiating pain. He said, "No pain on the left side?" "None." Then he showed me the scan from that day with a very large simple cyst on the left ovary, one I did not feel. Simple cysts are nearly always benign. Complex ones may not be. I am still awaiting the numbers on the right ovary to see if there has been any change. Takeaways. The sharp pain I have been feeling is likely a nerve damaged in the open surgery, wrapped in scar tissue, that is exacerbated by inflammation. Removing the ovaries will not remove the pain, but could cause more scar tissue and more pain. I have a high pain tolerance for not feeling a cyst 7 times the size of my ovary on the left side. Tumor markers have doubled since surgery. I'll rage again. I'll rage in a second about that. I was given 3 choices. Remove the left ovary, May 21st. Remove both ovaries, May 21st. Monitor both closely with MRIs and hold off on surgery. I chose option 3. primarily because I do not want to remove organs without certainty that there is sushi. As y'all remember, sushi is the big C. I am going to work on inflammation, scar tissue, and ovarian cysts and monitor the ovaries closely for changes. If they grow, get partitions or solid parts, or my tumor markers continue to increase, we will do the surgery. But for now, I prefer the more conservative choice. Oh my God, there were so many God winks in this trip. Rainbows and God promises and stories from strangers in hallways. Warm blankets, precious friends, and 4 a.m. drives. Understanding and compassion. Bible verses stitched on scrubs. Her story is coming. Miracles, favor, and protection. And for the first time in 3 years, I feel like I have a plan. Here's one issue I see. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. When I hear her say, tumor markers have doubled since surgery, you can take that as a fact. Since surgery, there's a time, like the time window is since surgery, my tumor markers have doubled. However, when I read that, my experience in the crunchy sphere, being in Young Living for as long as I was, that to me says she thinks that the surgery impacted or increased the tumor's growth rate. And I could be wrong about that, Sarah. I could be taking that incorrectly. I feel concerned because people are going to be reading this and say, oh my God, of course, surgery is so bad. I'm sure, like, it wasn't in a visible spot. MD Anderson is, like, one of the best cancer hospitals in the world. I love hearing... Heather said, I had almost the same thing at my colonoscopy last October. I had 4 large polyps and all were precancerous. I have a follow-up colonoscopy in June. I'm going to fume about this, and my autocorrect changed fume to fund. At least she considered surgery. Now, she did get surgery. This is the twisty part. She found out that she had a tumor when she first had cancer 4 years ago. And she spent a long time, I think, talking to over 11 specialists about how to not get the surgery. And she was trying to shrink the tumor with essential oils and her protocol. She did get the tumor removed, and on that live stream we did, we were reacting to her video. She showed the picture of the tumor that was removed, and she then went through all of her daily protocols for continuing to fight her cancer. She showed her machines, she showed her hyperbaric chamber, she showed her coffee enema kit, she showed her supplement she's taking, like she showed everything. Let me see if I can find that, although I would love for y'all to stay for the rest of this stream, but I'll put it in the description, and if y'all want to pop out, you're more than welcome to, obviously. If it's not easy to find, then I will... I think she deleted this one. Okay, I found it. It was a live stream. It's only 2 hours, so basically it was a 5-minute long stream. Share. Share. Copy. I'm going to put it in the description for everybody. Sarah Harnisch protocol exposure. Okay, it's in the description. Replay crew, howdy hey. Thank y'all for liking the stream. We're at 53. Maybe take some pity on me and get us to an even number. I'm just gonna watch it. Yeah. It's a twisty realm. And I want to reiterate, do what is best for you and your body. And have some guardrails on your influence to other people when you're sharing your own story. Don't fall into the logical fallacies that's going to tell someone your protocol is going to work for everyone. Okay? Just don't do it. Don't do it. Thank y'all so much. Thank you for taking pity on me. I appreciate it. All right, let me pull up the next video. Or the actual video. I'm going to go 0 out. I'm going to go back. Oh, here we go. Yes. All right. So I'm going to search. I guess I should do sushi instead. April 27th. She went to convention. 8 hours of writing news, then a late night hyperbaric oxygen cancer treatment. So thankful for precious friends in my circle that have all the tools. So that's this post. That's her hyperbaric chamber. I'm the overreacting sort. Same. Bless you, Nina. If you're just coming in, do not feel like you have to stay. I fixed the ad watch time for yesterday's stream. Feel free to go peruse that video if you want to, or watch one of my bomb party streams. This is a lot, and I know it's maybe a speed bump, so don't speed bump yourself. We got 70 likes now. Thank y'all so much. So these are all, if this doesn't make any, this is from January 15th. This is her being excited that the FDA is removing red dye number 3. Emotions and CANCER alive training. She's literally doing a training. She is at Hope for Cancer in this facility. Claiming that thieves and essential oils help her with her bacterial bug. I'm sure Amy's gonna love that. So just to give you an idea, the story of a nasty bacterial bug. We have been passing an aggressive upper respiratory bug around family-wide for a good 3 weeks. One of my adult kids landed on an antibiotic and steroid this week. A grandchild on steroids and antibiotics. I have been bouncing from house to house, delivering soup, vitamin C, and oils. 48 hours ago, it hit me. I had felt more tired for a couple of days, but I let out a barking cough 2 mornings ago and made the bottom of my lungs hurt for an hour. It was deep. I had not had a bug like this, save COVID, for at least 15 years. The headache hit where I could no longer sit up at all. I was dizzy from sinus pain and had vertigo to the point that it made me nauseous. I know when you do not strike early, it can multiply and get nasty, especially for someone still recouping from CANCER. Yeah, Melissa, 100%. If I'm honest, I was a little nervous because we had tossed a lot of the holistic world at the kids and a few still ended up on antibiotics, some for the first time in their life. I know this bug is 2 to 3 weeks long and might require me to take time off work because of the deep, painful cough and laryngitis. 48 hours later, I'm completely totally fine. No headache, 0 cough, The dizziness and exhaustion are nearly gone. I'm going to keep at it for 2 more days, but it never ceases to amaze me how the simple things work so well. Plants, broth, citrus, hydration, and sleep for the win. It is exciting when you train your friends. It is, oh my God, I can't speak tonight. It is exciting when you train your friends and family on something. You see it work on others, but then get a chance to live it out in real life on yourself. Because everybody's immune system is just worse than yours. My protocol these past 2 days. Sinus bombs every few hours. 8 vitality drops. Oh my God. I'm sorry, y'all probably don't know. Oregano burns like hell, okay? She put 8 vitality oregano, 8 vitality thieves, 2 vitality frankincense in a... Oh, okay, oh my God. I thought she was putting it up her nose. Oh my God. She was ingesting 8 oregano drops, though, every 2 hours. Drank water. Ningxia slept 16 hours. Listen. Oregano is strong as hell. Thieves, spicy as hell. Frankincense, the vitality is because Young Living got slapped. You can say like 2 things about a specific product. So they created a new SKU with the exact same oil in a different packaging because you couldn't say diffuse, topical, ingest. They had to do diffuse, topical, and then they had to make ingest a separate SKU item. I bet, Sammy. Specifically, not scientifically. Sugar feeds your brain. Yeah. So here's the rest. I'll just read it. I just want to give y'all like a background on what the hell, because this may be the first time you've ever heard of this lady, and it's wild. After I woke up, I added Raven in the diffuser, Thieves chest rub hourly, and purification behind my ears, across the glands in my neck and down my chest. When I was stronger, I made broth and have been sipping it nonstop, with good salt, as opposed to the bad salt. Good salt for electrolytes. I am also nibbling on citruses, clementines, and grapefruit, and drinking lemon water that I squeezed. I did not just avoid sugar, gluten, and dairy. I fasted. This has been debunked. There's a whole... Sorry, I'm like, my cup. There's a whole community, and if you... I don't know. I don't think the science supports it. There are whole wellness centers in other countries dedicated to fasting. So they have medical teams on site to help you go through a fast, because people either do it just for whatever, feeling good, and then you have patients who have cancer go to these facilities because they believe that fasting will help the chemo and radiation work more effectively, because their body doesn't have to worry about digesting food. It can focus solely on fighting cancer. They also claim 1 or 2 people in the... if you haven't seen the documentary, it's wild. There are people in the documentary that say when they fast before their chemo, they do not get nauseous, and they're able to like be fine during the treatment. YouTube, bear with me for a second. I'm not promoting this. I'm debunking it. Okay? Okay? I know y'all are. Amy's like, that's not how that works. With what energy? Yeah, yes. So there's one in Germany, there's one in Switzerland. They have medical staff on. They have medical team on staff, and which I guess that's the best way to fast if you're going to. And then they reintroduce food after you're done with your fast. But they claim that it'll cure allergies, that it'll help you deal with your big C, the chemo treatment, that it'll fix a lot of things. Science, we don't know her. Yes. Yes, that's what we're told in Young Living. They're not FDA approved. That's just bullshit. They start playing telephone. No, the FDA slapped them because you cannot say whatever the 3 things about your essential. The 3, you can only make 2 like ways to use something for the essential oils. I'm not saying this right. They used to say topical, air or diffuse, and ingest. And so the FDA said, hell no. So Young Living put the ingest in its own little vitality drops. But all of them take all of the essential oils, even if they're not a vitality essential oil, internally. They will take anything internally. So, welcome. I just want to hear some more. I know I got distracted. What I did not do, ginger ale with its corn syrup. Oh, sorry. What I did not do, ginger ale with its corn syrup and cough syrup, and the brat diet, bread, rice, crackers, etc., because it breaks down as sugar, and sugar feeds bacteria. Crappy canned soup, like Campbell's chicken noodle soup, because the ingredients beat down the body. What? Vicks, because it is petroleum-based, a trash byproduct of the oil and gas industry. Results. This morning, I was able to hop in the sauna for 45 minutes. Oh, yeah, she also has a sauna, which I love going to the sauna, but she got a sauna for her cancer treatment. And it was a huge win because I could sit up again. I am so grateful for the toolkit, but even more grateful for the plants the Lord made that were the game changer in it all. If you need supplies and training, that's where my heart is. Reach out. Sorry. She is acting like a doctor, in my opinion. She will give you a protocol and a recommendation. I don't know what her private Facebook team page looks like, but you can bet that there's prescribing going on. People asking about, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do with this? And I'll say, this many essential oils, this many essential oils, this many essential oils. And supplements. Oh, I forgot that. All that sleep is probably what helped. You know? So this is 2024. We're going to watch a video. Just hold on a second. The Brad diet is meant to settle your stomach. May I vent? The cancer world is such a strange place. Even 2 years in, it knocks me off my feet sometimes. I find it easy in my home to treat it like a normal cold. Not become a hypochondriac fixated on illness and disease until it is appointment and scan time. During my surgery, there were reminders of the gravity of cancer. Tying bracelets to your arms and feet in case you code for quick identification. Safety, that's a safety measure, but continue on. Signing 12 pages of release forms for accountability of what may happen. Signing end-of-life forms, just in case. Creating a living will, requested by the hospital. If Jessie Lee taught us anything, get your will done. Get your will done. Get your will done? For 12 years, I went to the OBGYNs that thought the bleeding and anemia were no big deal. She had this for 12 years? Sorry. I'm not saying that you should listen to me because I'm terrified of doctors, but can you take what I'm about to say File it away and maybe mull it over when you feel like you're in an emotionally good place to do that. I'm terrified of doctors, and in the process of getting back to going to the doctor, bring a battle buddy with you, especially when it comes to your health. If you have access to medical treatment, take it. Also, if your doctor isn't doing anything about recurring bleeding and anemia, maybe find a new OBGYN. Good question mark. Good statement. You're doing 12-hour daily routines. What do you mean you're not fixated? Yep. It all changed overnight. Within 48 hours, an oncologist wanted to take my uterus, cervix, fallopian tubes, ovaries, and anything the cancer was touching. Possibly my stomach, bladder, or colon. I would not know what I had left until I woke up. And today, as I prep for a very simple oncology appointment in the morning where they will likely just order a scan, pre-filling out hospital intake forms, just in case. In what world does any of this happen anywhere else? It is foreign, unusual. It is like you stare at mortality with every appointment. And suddenly, I feel tired of it all. Your feelings are valid. And also, the doctor probably was wanting to remove the cancer? I don't know. Melissa said a real battle buddy, not a sycophant like Courtney Shortney. Yeah. If a doctor dismisses my concerns even once, I'm finding a new doctor. And again, that's why it's good to have a battle buddy with you, a true one, because they can potentially help you find a new one or speak up to the one you're at, and y'all can leave and go to one that is on your team to advocate for you, not to placate you. That's not true. You have to get consent for everything, but go off, sis. I think I should look for... Oh, this is her sushi equipment. And we will watch the video, I promise. Sushi equipment post. Many have asked me about the equipment I use to keep the big C gone. There is no one holistic treatment that gets rid of it. And again, keep this in mind, her cancer has come back. And she is saying this equipment that she uses to keep cancer gone, okay, there is no one holistic treatment that gets rid of it. I did thousands of treatments with hundreds of modalities. But as we prepare for the launch of my new book, Adversity, I'd like to tease some of the things I've been doing. She's writing about how she fights cancer in her new book. This is my red light lamp. It's super affordable, $200. I use it for 30-minute sessions every day when I am in full battle fighting mode, and at least once or twice a week when I have no evidence of disease, until I get to that 5-year mark and can ring the bell. Tara Keys, what are the benefits of red light therapy? Well, the National Cancer Institute says it causes cancer cells to burst and die. What? What? Hello? Ma'am? Is that true? Does the National Cancer... Okay, I guess we can click on this. It's a national... Oh, okay.
Photoimmunotherapy is a new form of cancer therapy involving near-infrared light. Photoimmunotherapy uses an antibody to which a photoabsorbing chemical is attached. The antibody photoabsorber conjugate is injected into a patient. It will travel through the bloodstream and eventually reach the site of the tumor. The conjugate will then leak out of permeable vessels near the tumor. It will bind to special receptors on the surface of cancer cells. Once the conjugate is bound to cancer cells, the photoabsorbing chemical can be specifically activated by near-infrared light. When the chemical has been activated, it causes immediate damage to the cell membrane. Water that is outside of the cell rushes into it, causing the cell to swell. Nearby cells without the special receptors will not be affected. Increased pressure within the swollen cell causes the membrane to burst, releasing intracellular contents such as proteins, DNA, and RNA.
What?
The cell then becomes smaller and shrunken in shape, a process known as necrosis.
Amy's screaming in the chat.
After treatment, the cell
I was like, I don't think it's a red light. Not a red light lamp. If you're listening to this, we're watching a video, like an animated video of this process of killing cancer cells with the help of infrared light, photoimmunotherapy. The red light that they're talking about isn't a red lamp light alone. So what is it called? She does wear a bracelet where she injects something in her, and it, as the blood, I don't know. It's very confusing. But you don't understand. She's tried over 100 modalities. It's a very cool therapy, though. It sounds cool. I was like, is this magic? A $20 red light lamp is definitely not the same strength as the phototherapy in a hospital. New cancer therapies are so cool. I mean, this sounds great. This sounds super cool. It seems like it would be interesting in tandem with chemo or in tandem with radiation. Something to that effect. This is the National Cancer Institute this is NIH, so I will, let me put this in the chat. Y'all can put it in you can search for it, it'll pop up. But get the one from NIH. The link's too long to post. Institute. Okay, you can search that way. The photoimmunotherapy thing probably isn't an FDA approved thing. For sure, Amy. That makes sense. It's still a personalized treatment you can't really do at home. Did that say near infrared light? We can finish watching it.
necrosis causes the tumor to shrink, creating spaces between the...
Yes, it says at the bottom, when near infrared light is applied, the cells swell and then burst, causing the cancer cell to die. Photoimmunotherapy is in clinical trials in patients with inoperable tumors. Okay, we're not gonna cry. Okay.
cells. The tumor will die and normal tissue will regrow in its place. Photoimmunotherapy is a new form of cancer therapy that is highly specific for cancer cells and does not damage nearby normal cells. It is currently in clinical trials in patients with inoperable tumors.
Okay, we're not gonna cry. Nobody's crying. All right, I'm trying to skip over the ones. She does oxygen. She does hyperbaric. Thermography, which is a scan. Ultrasound, which she actually does on her body. Blood work, urine test, ATP testing, hyperbaric chamber, oxygen, vitamin C IV, which Jessie Lee was doing, Indiba local hyperthermia, which I think Jessie Lee was doing, pulsed electromagnetic frequency, Vibe lymph plate, juicing the coconut milk and blueberries, breakfast, lunch, doctor appointment, made a ton of friends, half from Australia, supplement appointment, and muscle testing. If you don't know what muscle testing is, the points on your body, You can see like what vitamins are low. You like touch different parts and then someone presses your arm down. So when you, whatever's strong, that's fine. If they can press your arm down, then they start finding tinctures and oils and stuff to get that vitamin that's low to the right spot. And you wear an apron, and then as you get your, they will do like, is this one right for the body? And then they do the different dosages. And when they have the right dosage, they put that in your apron. And then at the end, all your arm's going to be, your arm is held out, and they put 2 fingers on your wrist, and then they, whatever. How do I know this? Because I used to do it. I know, it's bullshit. If you wonder what muscle, they're not like testing her muscles. They are pressing her arm down to find the right dosages for things. From my home kit at the hotel, laser pads, PDT plus watches, coffee enema, castor oil pack, frankincense, citrus pectin, Sono machine, biomat, lemon water. The biomat's wild. I'm trying to see. These are all of her, oh, you can't see. Sorry. What am I doing? These are all of her, or a lot of what she's taking for her cancer. This is also from Young Living. A lot of these are not from Young Living. She turned all these around for some reason. I'm not sure why. Anyways. This is the shrunken mass. Okay, I think she started calling it sushi. So this is a picture. But Sarah said, I had to show you guys my big praise this week. This is the shrunken mass. It was not on or in my ovary. It is so it is a huge relief that it is shrinking, because whatever it was not an ovarian cyst. On my last scan, it was so large it had pushed my appendix out of the way and had taken up a good chunk of the right quadrant of my pelvis. This was a new mass since surgery. The wall on the left side of this thing, irregular. My hope for cancer scan in June said, wall not well defined. Those are cancer code words for keep an eye on it. It is showing strange behavior. Oh, we're not sure if it was a blood supply or a new tumor formation on the left side of this mass on the image. It also looked like there was a septation divide forming across the top, which is a red flag for these growths. But God, it is almost gone. This mass went from 5 centimeters to 1 centimeter in a month. The Lord said, nope, not today. I am so very thankful for a reprieve in the stress and worry. Now, on to total healing. I am holding my breath for the September 7th MD Anderson appointment in Houston, praying there is absolutely nothing there, not even a centimeter of anything on my next scan, and I will start moving forward. Light, sound, heat, oxygen, one step at a time, every single day. All right, now we'll watch a video. Oh, no. Trigger warning, big C in a kid. A few days ago, my friend's 8-year-old had emergency surgery for a brain tumor. They're absolutely following everything the doctor suggests. This lady makes me so angry. Yeah, I'm trying to keep myself, like, regulated early on because I've lost 3 people I loved dearly to cancer, and this is hard to look at. I'm gonna look for sushi. I would suggest that y'all go to my old video after this stream. It's linked in the description, because we look at her whole her whole kit. I'm trying to see. These mostly look like posts. I'm about to show a medical picture. If you don't want to see it, look away. It's like it's a scan. I don't know what type of scan it is. She posted it. All right, I'm showing it. 3, 2, 1. So, this is the mass. Like, this whole thing is the mass in her pelvis. Like, this was not something to play around with. She showed the picture of the removal in the other video I did. And that was like when I first started streaming, or 1 year into streaming. And so she did a post. Leave cancer warriors alone. Yeah. Genuine question. If she's been being seen at MD Anderson, is she doing any form of treatment? She's doing like tumor removal. And then she basically checks in with them to see if her cancer is growing or shrinking. And then she gets surgery at the last possible minute, from what I understand. And again, disclaimer, I support anybody's personal decisions as it has to do with their body. I take issue when you're making pseudoscience claims and you are spreading misinformation about health stuff that can be so dangerous in terms of keeping someone alive. So yes, she's getting scans, and also she takes those scans and then goes down to Tijuana, Mexico, where the Hope for Cancer Institute is. There's also one in Cancun. She goes to both. And she does the treatments at Hope for Cancer. She does not do treatments at MD Anderson other than getting scans and having surgery. From what I understand, if I got it wrong, I get it. I went to one of my closest friends' funeral this past weekend who passed from cancer after a 7-year-long fight of active disease and remission. I'm so sorry, Nick. My best friend passed from her 3rd round of breast cancer in November. I hate cancer and lost my dad to it too. I'm so sorry, Elizabeth. Yeah, ex-Cal's dad, my papa, passed away from cancer, and my mother-in-law did, and my aunt did. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. All right. So, the uterus and bilateral fallopian tubes have been resected. A prominent right external iliac lymph node is noted and can be followed on future routine studies. A cyst mass is noted within the right adnexa. This measures 4.8 by 3.2 centimeters and is new since the prior examination. The uterus has been resected. No left adnexal masses are identified. The appendix touches the right adnexal mass. Prominent right external iliac adenopathy measures 1.1 by 1.1 centimeters and is indeterminate and stable since the prior examination. Differential includes metastatic disease. Oh, that was just text. I'll just keep this on. So she said 2022 the mass shrunk. She's doing her sushi updates here. Update, I'm doing well. She's getting, when we were on members only, we were looking at the video, and she went to the same place that Jessie Lee Ward did for that whole body MRI scan. And she goes there relatively consistently after she goes to MD Anderson, because Dallas is like a hop, skip, and a jump from Houston in terms of flying there. And the members and I were watching it and going, isn't that the scan? Yes, it was. It is the scan. So there were so many point for point similar ways of fighting the big C, which was, I think it's because it's close to the Gerson method or something like that. I just couldn't imagine having access to some of the best medical professionals in the field and just ignoring them till it's almost too late. Yeah. These people can be so dangerous. My brother lost his best friend at 18 due to a completely curable cancer due to this mindset. It was a horrible thing to watch them go through. I'm so sorry. My grandma passed last year from her second round of breast cancer. I'm sorry. I have to say, because we're dealing with C in the family right now, and a lot has changed since 2007 when my grandma had cancer. Oh, you're good. I mean, we're talking about a hard topic. These are posts. Let's go to the videos. Go back. Is this it? No? How do I... Okay. She's making her own milk from almonds. We're going to go to the videos.
Hey guys, I'm
Gaps intro. She's showing about her recipes. This is no, I'm not going to do that one.
and how to do coffee enemas. I know.
Oh, never mind. She is going to talk about that. Okay, keep going. One second.
Hey guys, this is Sarah Harnisch, and I wanted to shoot a video and just show you my face and show you that I'm okay, that I'm home, and that I got a diagnosis of no evidence of disease, which means that the cancer is gone. There is no cancer in my body right now, and I thought that I would just give you
This is 2022, so this is older. I just want to show this, and then we'll watch the one of the more recent
guys
videos.
a brief update. I just did one on my author page, and so now I'm all cryy and my face is all red. But I wanted to tell you guys what happened at MD Anderson and where I'm at right now and what I'm doing from here on out. So a little bit of backstory. I have
No, we're not. We're not saying that you can't do holistic. My point of contention is sharing unfounded holistic ways of fighting cancer and having a huge platform and scaring people out of making an informed decision for themselves. I don't take issue with someone choosing what they want to do with their own body. I don't have issues with you. I don't have issues with that. She has a huge platform. She is one of, if not the most well-known Young Living distributor in Young Living because of the books that she's written that all of the top reps tell their downlines to read. And I think she uses destructive influence that harms other people. That's all.
had a little pain in my right ovary, 3 years ago, and I went and had it checked out, went on some supplements for it, and it seemed to improve. And then I got COVID, and it knocked me off my butt a year ago, and I had never been so sick in my whole life. And now we know it's because I had this huge tumor that I was fighting at the same time, and so my immune system was divided. And
I don't know how the immune system works, but there's this whole, again, that's the same mindset of I'm going to fast so my body doesn't have to digest food so that it can spend all of its energy. What energy? Because you're not eating, fighting the cancer. That's the same mindset that she has about food and being sick.
after
I say this. With the whole influence thing, maybe this will present a more detailed description of what I'm trying to say. Ex-Cal, my dad, when you're a kid, if you have a good parent, I think, you look, when you're young, you look up to your parent and you may want their approval or their input or I guess approval for things. You want to tell them something and you want to know what they would do, and so you can do exactly what they would do. Ex-Cal, realizing that he has a lot of influence, is not quick to offer his opinion, if at all, when we're talking to him about problems. He asks a lot of questions, he listens to us, and then he helps us kind of wander through the thought process of what we end up wanting. Because he realizes how influential he is, how easily he could say something and that we would do what he would want to say and what he would want to do instead of us finding out what we really want to do. Or some people look up to authority figures, like you end up seeing this in cults, where power is unchecked with the cult leader and the cult members end up doing what the cult leader wants instead of maybe what they would have decided to do. I look at the same thing with public figures, curbing your influence because you understand how powerful it can be, what you may end up convincing someone to do because of what you say. So, anyways, that's my... Yeah, I'm happy to add more, like, commentary. I'm happy that there's lots of different people with different perspectives in the chat. I'm happy to keep reiterating that I support people's decision and what they decide to do with their own bodies. And as you grow in influence, you may have tighter and tighter guardrails about what you share publicly as something that you approve of, because you have a greater ability to direct someone into a space where they didn't necessarily want to go. I agree. I totally agree. And we were looking at one of her deals, the photo immunotherapy or whatever. They inject your body with something. It's not approved yet. It's in clinical trials, but they inject your body with something that substance they inject goes to the cancer cells and attaches itself to only cancer cells, and then they do like infrared red light or something like that, and it explodes the cancer cells, which is interesting. Obviously, it's not a alternative therapy, but it is. It's interesting things that they're doing, and that's interesting to me because it sounds like something, if it ends up working for a lot of people, like, that's cool. Photoimmunotherapy isn't. Oh, that's true. I'm just saying for the crunchy community, that's more potentially acceptable because they're using light and the injection. It's hard to explain when you haven't been crunchy. They would like that. They would like that idea more than they like the idea of chemo and radiation and stuff like that. But I understand, like, my one of our friends' sisters went to, there's a hospital in Illinois, and they do all the medical stuff, the chemo, the radiation, all that. Then they also manage, like, your food and their cafeteria in the hospital. When we went to visit her, like, they do everything's fresh cooked. Believe what you want or don't want about organic, but they have a really good selection. They talk to you about your hydration. They have you in therapy. They like movement and stuff like that. So, like, they along with traditional medicine, they do acupuncture and stuff like that. But they do some alternative or some whatever, parallel therapies to support you while you're doing the chemo and doing the radiation and stuff like that. Oh, cool, Dither. Anyways, I don't remember, maybe it's Cancer Centers of America or something. But anyways, they treated her really well, and she's in remission right now. But I'm not saying that to convince you to go there, but all right.
After COVID, I recovered, and then I started passing very large blood clots. And so I went back into our family doctor and showed her a picture, and she said, you need to go in and you need to go have an ultrasound done. So I had an ultrasound done. That was in October last year. And it came back with a huge fibroid in my uterus. And we thought that's all that it was. So they sent me to an OBGYN to try to get that fibroid taken out. And while I was on her table in November last year, she saw some tissue coming through my cervix, and she snipped it, sent it off, and it came back malignant. And December 2nd started the most crazy 9 months of my entire life. I would trade everything that I've been through my whole life to take this experience back or not have to walk through it. But I realized that the Lord had a growth opportunity for me the last 9 months, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for it. So then we did an MRI in January, and we saw that the tumor was literally hip to hip and belly button to my spine. It was
cool,
14
Nikki.
centimeters, 5 tumors, 3 malignant tumors, 2 benign tumors. And it
Can I ask the sciencey people a question in the chat before we continue? Do you know how with vitamins, fat-soluble vitamins, if you take too much, it's stored in your fat? And if you end up losing fat, you can end up overdosing on vitamins, because as you lose fat, it releases the vitamins that are stored in the fat. Anyways, if you have been taking essential oils for 15 plus years, potentially 20 years, you're ingesting them, you're applying them topically. You're not only ingesting them, you're taking so much of them that it's a lot. Are essential oils something that would end up stored would it be possible for ingesting too many essential oils to cause long-term issues in the inside of your body? Yeah, fat-soluble ones. That's why you gotta talk to your doctor and make sure you get the right dose. That's why you continually have blood tests, so you actually are, if you're actually low on vitamin A and stuff like that. It's possible. Yeah, you're saying, when I say, I mean, the essential oils, like, they're so concentrated from whatever product they decide to, whatever plant they decide to distill. It depends strongly on what the oils are. Okay. That's just something I'm wondering. I'm not saying she made herself sick. I'm saying that if there is any potential information out there that ingesting too many essential oils can be really bad for you, I would want to find that out sooner rather than later. And I hope that if Young Living knew that information and that they would tell people about it. So, yeah, not to scare y'all with your vitamins, but like don't just get your blood done if you can. Get your blood panels done and see what you're actually low on.
We were terrified. We were absolutely terrified. They
Sure.
told us that anything over 2 centimeters is like all the oncologists are running all over the place and trying to get it out as fast as they can. And over 4 centimeters, that the chance of metastasis is almost 100%. And here I'm sitting here with 14 centimeters of tumor in my uterus. So ended up at MD Anderson. I did not want to do surgery. I wanted to do this completely holistically. And I was very bitter about even having a surgery done. But
her feelings are valid. She can feel bitter. She has the right to have different preferences and beliefs than we do. It is interesting that somebody who has access to medical care doesn't recognize the blessing it is that you have access to not just medical care, but some of the best cancer care in the world. And it is interesting that you feel bitter about that option that you have that other people do not have. I was too high on B12 on my last blood work. That blood work tells you so much. Yes, Molly. And again, if you're scared of the doctor, I hope there's somebody in your life that maybe can be your battle buddy. And don't think it's embarrassing or whatever to ask someone, hey, can you go to the doctor with me? So you can like advocate for yourself. Yeah, if y'all watched my first video on her, dear God, it was wild. Yeah, I think so, Lady Miter saw. Oh. I'll turn her up. I'm sorry, guys. She's up now.
I met with every person that I knew that...
I'm so sorry. Do y'all want me to rewind it? We're only 2 minutes. Thank y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm new here. I turned her up. Is that better?
That I trusted in the natural health world, scientists.
Let me know. Thanks, Ranger Kathy. I appreciate it. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. I'll wait to see if we're good now. Literally take a step back, man. Break through the MLM and look at reality. Sorry. Thank y'all so much. Did I like the idea of getting ear surgery? No. Did I still go through with it to help make my life better and not have chronic ear infections the rest of my life? Yes. All right. Thanks, guys. Sorry about that.
Researchers, Dan Purser, who's a very gifted OBGYN, and met with Ollie Wanker. You know, he worked for MD Anderson as an anesthesiologist, and just asked all of them and said, listen, is there any other way other than surgery? And they said, Sarah, 2 + 2 is 4, and 200 + 200 is 400. And the tumor's too large. You have to get the brain of the cancer out of your body or it will be everywhere. And it was lucky that we did, because we literally caught it just in time. I mean, probably within weeks of it going to stage 4, because it was in my lymphovascular system and heading toward my lymph nodes. So I went to MD Anderson, and March 1st, I had the big surgery, had it taken out, and it was a huge recovery. Matter of fact, I just crossed the 6-month milestone from that, and I'm still having repercussions. I've had a 6-month bladder infection that we've been fighting, and I still have a lot of pelvic pain, probably.
I think it is reasonable, and having gone through a surgery that wasn't a miracle fix for my pain, wasn't a miracle fix for my mobility, and having, a year and a half of trying to recover and now facing having the opportunity to have a surgery again. But yeah, there's some surgeries that are going to, I say, wreck your body. It's going to take a while to come back from it. You had a huge tumor that you got removed. It was in your pelvic floor. Yeah, like pelvic floor therapy, and maybe giving your body a break from essential oils. And yes, 6-month-long bladder infection. Are you taking the recommended antibiotics to take care of the bladder infection? That's my question. Because she's very antibiotics. So are so many people in the alternative side of medicine. They think that antibiotics destroy you even more so than what your doctor will tell you about reintroducing like the good bacteria into your intestines. The medications after my brain surgery gave me diabetes. I'm still thankful for the surgery. Yeah, and again, you can be negative, you can be depressed. I oscillate from, wow, I'm a lot more mobile than I am now, and then days where I'm in so much pain I can't even think. I'm like, I can't live like this. This is a lot. And again, I'm not saying I'm in the worst position possible. I'm just saying you can have a successful surgery and you can still struggle with big emotions of processing through what you thought life was going to be like after your surgery was done, and then what you're faced and have to do every day to get back closer to your goals of like what healthy looks like for you. It's complex from my own experience. So
from adhesions, so I'm doing pelvic floor therapy, meeting with a urologist that's a urogynecologist oncologist, so just to heal all the scar tissue and everything on my urethra from all the Foley catheters. So still a lot of stuff that I'm doing behind the scenes. Pain level is still probably a 4 or 5 in my pelvis, but after I had the surgery done, we got the pathology back, and it was much worse than what we thought. It was like every single report we had done, it was
Elizabeth,
worse
I'm
than the
so
report
sorry.
before. So here we thought it was 1 tumor. It ended up being 5 tumors. We thought it had stayed in the uterus. They ended up doing a vertical incision because they needed to do exploratory surgery because the surgeon was sure that it was all over the place. And they did the exploratory surgery. It wasn't all over the place. It was encapsulated in my uterus, but they did find a second cancer. It was a precursor to a high-grade serous carcinoma, which is the ovarian cancer that kills people in like 4 to 6 months. And it was stage 0. That was in my fallopian tube. And then they also found lymphovascular involvement. So it had left the uterus and was in the vascular system. And they found a new mass when they did my CT and my MRI, a 5-centimeter mass in the right side of my pelvis that we were hoping was an ovarian cyst, but we weren't sure. It had pushed my appendix out of the way. It was taking up most of the right side of my pelvis. And 2 lymph nodes that were triple the size that they should be. They want to see them at 0.4 of a centimeter, and they were 1.2 centimeters. So, and there were no other lymph nodes around them that were big, and that's a red flag for a cancer patient. If you have a whole bunch of lymph nodes in a row that are swollen, that's the way the lymph are supposed to work. They're supposed to drain into each other. But when you have one lymph node that's really big and the others are very small, that's a huge red flag for cancer, especially when it's triple the size that it should be. So they sent me away in May, pretty convinced that I was a stage 4 cancer patient, that we didn't catch it in time. It had moved into the lymph nodes. It was metastatic. And I walked out of there feeling pretty sick. They wanted to do 7 weeks of radiation, 5 weeks external beam radiation therapy, 7 days a week, and then 2 weeks of vaginal brachytherapy, which is an instrument that they insert into the vagina, and they administer high dose radiation just right where they made the stitches, basically, to keep it from coming back. And the external beam to try to get rid of that right-sided mass that had formed since the surgery, and I declined.
Let me just say something real quick, and I'm not trying to traditional medicine, like the side effects from chemo can be devastating, and then some people don't experience the harsh side effects. The church I grew up in, there was a very talented ballerina who was 11, was already performing in professional like ballets and stuff, obviously at age appropriate characters, but she was very talented. And she was having issues. They found out that she had cancer, and her side effects from fighting the cancer, she has vision impairment. She cannot regulate her, like the temperature in her body. She cannot dance anymore. She has been alive for, I don't know, the past 15 years. And I don't want to acknowledge the scary side of people being worried about the side effects of your cancer. Or like Amy was saying, they have diabetes now. Let's grow in the idea for compassion for those who are scared. And that doesn't mean that we have to change our opinions about medical care and stuff, but those side effects are very scary to some people. And even if they're not scared of them, there are devastating side effects from very effective, or at least they're trying to be the best thing that they found to fight cancer, which can do horrible things to your body. My nephew had several issues from chemo when he was 5. Now he's 25. Oh my God, don't cry. Okay, I'm just going to turn the video on.
I didn't have a piece even on doing the surgery. I definitely didn't want to do radiation. They gave me 12 pages of paperwork, and they could make a hole in my spine, could make a hole in my bladder, could make a hole in my colon and my stomach. I just didn't have a piece on it. And so I walked away, and I literally left MD Anderson and flew directly to Hope for Cancer in Tijuana and started what I would call the boot camp of cancer fighting. Like it's insane. We did 300 treatments in 3 weeks, and everything from light, sound, heat, oxygen. I would wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I would go till 10, 11 o'clock at night fighting the cancer. And then I went home, and the mass had not shrunk in my right side. And the doctor said, listen, it's okay. Like, natural therapy takes about 3 months to work. So don't be discouraged. Just stay on top.
Hunter got married. Wait, did I miss something? Hold on. Oh! Context Clueless said he's still the best nephew ever, though, and just got married. Congratulations, Hunter! That's cool. That's awesome. Because who's in the chat for Hunter? I just found out my mom has stage 3 skin cancer. She starts chemo and radiation in a couple of weeks. I hope that her treatment goes well for her. I'm sorry that she has cancer. You know what, we'll just play kazoos for Hunter, because rip to this stream. Where's my pen? Congratulations! I'm gonna open up... Oh, Nate, there you go. So, just a little bit on Young Living, and this is also linked in the description. It's called Young Living Essential Oils. It was started in 1993 by Donald Gary Young. The headquarters are in Lehi, Utah, and currently the CEO is Mary Young, who was the wife of the late Gary Young. She's been the CEO since 2015. I think Gary Young, that's when Gary Young got his cancer, but they have not really ever revealed the details of what he did to pass away. Thanks, Julio. Yes, the core products are essential oils, oil-infused products, supplements. They used to have cosmetics, Savvy Minerals, which was a white label product, but I'm not sure if they still do. And they sell CBD products. They actually partner with another company, but it's their product. They have international operations, so they're able to reach a ton of different people in a ton of different countries. And Young Living operates as a multi-level marketing company. Distributors known as brand partners earn commissions through personal sales and by recruiting new members into their downline. The compensation plan includes various bonuses and incentives designed to reward both sales and team building efforts, but we all know that they make more money by recruiting than they do by selling the actual product. I have the list of the full ranks in here, and I have the compensation components in there as well. There's some leadership and rep behavior. There's tactics and red flags. There's the product analysis. There's like legal issues. They've got the FDA gave them a warning. They got a penalty in 2017 that they had to pay a $760,000 fine for. They've had multiple lawsuits, including pyramid scheme allegations, and Gary Young is super twisty. Savannah has done a ton of videos. Well, Young Living tried to get her stuff slapped, but Savannah's done a lot on Young Living. His taste test is on Instagram. I can put it in the channel. Hold on. I'll upload it to YouTube after. I was putting it on Instagram first, but it's been there for a few days. So I'll put it on YouTube after the stream. And he wasn't a doctor. He did play a doctor. He was participating in medical procedures in Guatemala. One of the countries where he has one of his facilities. They were playing around with putting essential oils in IV drips. He got in trouble with the law for his birthing center that didn't have any medical facility, and his experimentation on his hypotheses with births. Yeah, it's literally trigger warning. All of Gary Young, trigger warning. Wait, I'm trying to make anything political, but was it the MLM going, what is the MLM going to do with products and tariffs outside the USA? Young Living is going to get in trouble, in my opinion, because they have distribution facilities all over the world. They have distilleries all over the world. So they used to do the distillation, send the essential oil back to get tested in the United States, send that product back to the distribution center, whether it was inside the United States or outside the United States. So I don't think they're going to be able to do that handy-dandy testing that makes sure all of their essential oils are better than organic, therapeutic grade, whatever. So we've done a live stream on I think it's a live stream where Young Living was targeting minority communities and said that specifically in the live stream that was the community they were going after, and they were talking about how they make sure that their tests are, and how they're keeping quality standards for their products. So it's going to be it's going to be a whole mess for sure. Yeah, Gary Young's story, especially with the medical stuff, is very triggering. I would not read it if you're sensitive to death or sensitive to infant death. So, I don't want to give too much. I don't want to trigger people in the chat. And there's lots of good there's if you like essential oils, if you like diffusing, if you like tinctures or whatever, MLM Exit has a website and will tell you swaps that you can get. But there's a lot of companies here in the US, if you're worried about cost increases because of the tariffs, that from what I understand, they're not going to be raising their, well, I don't know. I don't think they're raising their prices because they make everything here, so it's not going to be that the increase in cost. But the price is much lower because it's not an MLM, and the products are just as good, in my opinion. So MLM Exit, just go to MLM Exit's YouTube, and then you can click on their website.
Top of it, you've got all the machines with you. You've got immunotherapy shots. You've got supplements. You've got hyperthermia machine that heats your body up to 109 degrees. You've got laser pads. You're fighting with light, sound, heat, oxygen, ozone, detoxing, colon hydrotherapy, juicing, diet, nutrition, emotional release. Like,
tell me this doesn't sound exactly like Jessie Lee Ward's treatment plan. For sure, DJ. Yeah, Gary Young is on the fuck you list. For sure. Yeah, here we can say fuck. We just normally don't say fuck you unless they're on the fuck you list. And Ed Milet, Gary Young. Who else? We have a few new people on the fuck you list.
we were throwing everything at it that we could. And of course,
Also, if you're a Young Living person and you're maybe thinking about getting out, but you're in one of those handy dandy brand partner only Facebook pages for your specific team, if you want to download videos from a private Facebook page, you can. If you want me to talk you through that, you can just send me a DM. Or, you just don't have to screen record it. I'm going to be doing a training. I'll have the video recorded. I have a screen recording of doing it, but I thought we could do like a training where y'all could ask questions on how to fight multi-level marketing fuckery via downloading shit. So, Justin Prince, yes. John Melton, Justin Prince, Gary Young. Gary Young is on the We Speak Ill of the Dead list, yes.
I was using a ton of Young Living products also. I was taking frankincense internally. I was doing enzyme ramping with Essential Zyme 4. I was drinking a ton of Ningxia, which is really high in antioxidants that helps just keep your body strong. So you could do the fighting you need to do. And so I continued doing the therapy when I got home, and I was really hardcore about it all summer long. And so the last 12 weeks, I've got some of the equipment out that I can show you. So this is red light therapy that I keep right next
Okay. Red light therapy.
to my bed, a hydrogen water bottle.
Hydrogen water bottle.
I've got rebounding. I have a lymph vibe machine downstairs.
She has a lymph vibe machine. I don't think this is the one from my other video. If you watch my other video and this is that video, I'm sorry.
These two machines are local hyperthermia and Diva. That's ozone treatments that I do. This
You can do ozone treatments at home? Wait a second. Can you? It's strongly discouraged to do ozone treatments at home, especially those involving internal use, like inhaling ozone, drinking ozonated water, and ozone insufflations. Ozone is a toxic gas when inhaled. The FDA and EPA both warn that breathing in ozone can damage the lungs, cause chest pains, coughing, throat irritation, and worsen chronic respiratory diseases. Even low levels can be harmful over time. No proven benefits for most claimed uses. Ozone therapy is promoted for everything from detox to cancer to immune boosting, but most of these claims lack robust clinical evidence. The FDA has explicitly prohibited the use of ozone in medicine without proper approval, calling it a toxic gas with no known useful medical application in certain conditions. Home devices are unregulated. Oh boy, that's fun. Many consumer ozone generators are falsely advertised, lack safety controls, and may emit dangerous levels of ozone. DIY kits for ozone enemas or ozone IV setups are not only unsafe, but could cause serious harm or infection. Oh my God. I'm bringing this up because if you are doing all of these alternative wellness stuff, let me ask you this. If you followed the Jessie Lee Ward stuff, and knowing that she passed away from sepsis from a kidney infection, never mind. I'm not going to ask that question. I'm just going to keep reading. It's not the same as professional use, and even that is controversial. In clinical settings where legal, ozone is sometimes used under controlled conditions with specialized equipment and protocols, but even this is debated and safety concerns remain. Ozone is useful. Maybe I will say it. If your body is already weakened from fighting cancer, and you're doing ozone treatments with an unregulated device, and that you can be prone to the IV setups are not only unsafe but could cause serious harm or infection, does that mean that that infection would be a super infection with like your kidney stone stuff? Potentially, like, or if there's something else wrong in your body that could be super dangerous if you're doing the ozone IVs or ozone enemas. I don't know. It seems risky to me. And why doesn't she say, these are things that I'm choosing to do at the risk and detriment of my health? I am okay doing that. This is how I am choosing to fight my cancer. I don't recommend this to anyone, and none of these things have been proven to prevent, fight, cure any disease. She doesn't say that ever. She has no guardrails on her influence. She has no guardrails on the misinformation. She does not say any of that. Sorry, I went on off a little bit of a... Hydrogen is beneficial to add to water by using specific magnets for less than 50. I was introduced to the $500 hydrogen bottle that was a pretty LED light. Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, I just tried hydrogen water from H2Bev, which Nueva's going to be white labeling and selling themselves, from what I understand, based on their own PowerPoint presentation. Not my favorite flavor. Not a fan. If you put it straight up your butt, it doesn't get digested first and can go right into your body through your intestines. Yeah. Hey, Av. Flared bases save lives. Oh.
This is part of my enema setup, and the oxygen that I get every
That's her enema setup.
single day. This is the hyperthermia machine in my closet that I crawl into. Heats
I'm getting flashbacks of Jessie Lee Ward.
my body up. Big old cone. I've got ozone that I do rectally.
DIY kits for ozone enemas are not only unsafe but could cause serious harm or infection. Here's my question. Let's say you're following somebody like this and you're going to take everything they say with a grain of salt. How come she's not saying, hey, by the way, here are the potential risks, and letting the person make the decision with all of the information? Hey, this is what I'm using it for. Science does not support my use of it, and it can be really dangerous. DIY kits for ozone enemas are not only unsafe but could cause serious harm or infection. Use at your own risk. How hard is that to say? Oh, well, people already know that. Some people do not know that. And even if people did know that, you say it so that you can go to sleep peacefully at night, knowing that you're not using information control, either subconsciously or intentionally, consciously, whatever, that could end up harming people. Come on, dude. Closet Easy Bake. Oh my God. Julio said TMI, TMI, TMI. Yeah.
vaginally, laser pads, like it's all over my house.
She uses it rectally and vaginally. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's no disclaimer. Oh my God.
Okay. I got stuff everywhere, right? And so all summer long, I was juicing. I changed my diet. I was fighting with light, sound, heat, and oxygen. I did over 1,000 treatments, and even during that time, I was still getting imaging done. I had MRIs, I had PET scan, I had CT scans done. I had over 100 IVs
lot,
and
Amy.
blood draws. And so my right arm is almost unusable now. There's so much scar tissue in it just from one surgery.
From one surgery? Can I ask you this? You just said you've been doing blood draws and IVs for a huge amount of time. You're getting the vitamin C infusions. You're getting the probably ozone in your IV. You're probably doing a bunch of stuff. I know you're probably putting essential oils in there. You're saying it's all because of surgery? I have questions, and I'm allowed to have questions because that doesn't make any sense. If you are fighting cancer traditionally, I understand potentially, like, for years and years that you are going to have issues with that. She's blaming everything bad on the surgery and everything good on her alternative medicine.
In the last 6 months of fighting cancer. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot. But I walked into MD Anderson this week, and I had an ultrasound done halfway through. So I wasn't even on 12-week checkups. I was on 6-week checkups with these guys because they wanted blood work and ultrasounds done in between their 12-week checkups. And so I had an ultrasound done, and that mass had shrunk to 1 centimeter. I posted that a month ago, and I was crying. So the good news was that it had shrunk. The bad news was that it absolutely was not an ovarian cyst, because it was on a stalk and it was attached to my pelvic wall. So we could see what it was, and there's probably almost 100% chance that was cancer, that it's tried to form in my pelvis, maybe from seeding, from getting dropped, during the surgery. We don't know. But
she got dropped during the surgery? What does that mean? What does seeding mean? In surgical or medical context, seating usually refers to positioning something correctly and securely in place. What do you mean you got dropped in surgery? You got dropped on the floor? I'm confused. Oh, okay, my God. Thank the Lord Amy is here. Like they dropped some of her tumor inside and it grew from that. I did not understand what she meant. Just like I didn't understand the wink last night. Oh, one of y'all figured it out. I think it was Jenny Jen. The wink, if you were on the stream last night, cool. Remember, I don't know if we were all confused, but she winked. Marina Simone winked when she was talking about you need to use real emails. And Jenny Jen was like, because Marina Simone knows that the top leaders or a lot of the upper leaders are using fake accounts to fudge their numbers. And she knows that. And so the new system isn't going to allow for it. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. And why didn't I think of that? I'm sure that's what she's saying, but that's not how that works. Lady Mitersaw said, of course she has a chronic bladder infection. She's putting all kinds of non-sterile implements in her vagina, but it's not a far stretch to a UTI. That makes so much sense. Okay, let me just look. I'm sorry for the sound. I'm going to fix it. Yes, vaginal or rectal ozone therapy can potentially lead to bladder infections, especially when done at home or using unsterile equipment. Y'all, Lady Mitersaw, you get kazoos. Cross-contamination and bacterial introduction. The rectum and the vagina are both close to the urethra. Improper technique or unclean equipment can introduce bacteria into the urinary tract, especially in people assigned female at birth. Using tubing, catheters, or insufflation nozzles that aren't sterile can spread E. coli or other pathogens to the urethra. Ozone gas is highly reactive and can irritate or damage the mucosal lining of the vagina or rectum. This irritation may weaken your natural defenses, making it easier for bacteria to ascend the urinary tract. Ozone can disrupt the normal flora in the vaginal or rectal areas, killing off good bacteria that help prevent infections. The disruption can lead to overgrowth of harmful bacteria or yeast, and in some cases pave the way for a UTI. Oh my God. So she's giving herself a UTI? Yes, DJ, that makes sense. Wash your hands and instruments and don't put stuff up. Unless it's, you know what I mean. 6 months. 6 months. I'm so sorry, Av. If you're listening to this, Av said, I love how I'm eating dinner through all of this. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
But it was very, very painful, and it shrunk to 1 centimeter. So I went into MD Anderson feeling pretty good. Like I knew that mass was smaller, and before that, surgery was basically imminent. They were going to go in, they were going to take that right ovary. Now that I knew that I had that stick lesion that was touching the ovary in my fallopian tube, they were going to take the ovary, they were going to take the mass that was in the right side, send it all off to pathology, sew me back up. And if it looked like it had gotten any bigger, they were going to recut the same incision open that they had already opened before. So that would mean more therapy, learning how to walk again, that same vertical incision. To cut the same incision open twice in 6 months that's a 10-inch vertical incision. It took me months to recover from that surgery. So that's what I walked into, not sure what was going to happen this week, but I knew that mass had shrunk. And so I got my MRI back, and the doctor walked in. And so there's a surgeon, and then there's a doctor, and then there's a whole bunch of nurses. So this was the doctor. The surgeon came in after, but the doctor walked in, and she's like,
No, she doesn't take antibiotics unless she has to. That's the whole... In this maybe far extreme alternative medicine community, they think that antibiotics are the worst thing you can take. They will do anything to not take any. Now, I'm not saying antibiotics are great. I'm not saying that taking a lot of them is good for you. Talk to your doctor. But they will not take it. There's a I don't know what you're supposed to take for staph. There's this lady who's a Young Living rep, who's a top Young Living rep, and she will not give her kids medicine for the staph infections they get. She continues to put essential oils on them. And she also was doing a metal detox on her child that she was doing the detox on when her kid was a baby, so she would take it herself, so it would be in her milk or whatever. And then when he was a little older, it's that MLM blue bottle TRX stuff or whatever, the metal detox thing. I'm saying that there's a group of people that don't just say, yeah, I'm gonna see if I don't need antibiotics because I don't want to take a ton of antibiotics, but making that decision for your kid and saying, you're never going to get antibiotics if I can help it. The age of her kid who continues to get staph several years ago was wild. Very young, like 3. Yep, Marie. I don't know. We'll cover her in the future, but it's a lot of editing for her kids, so. So let me get this straight. She's got cancer, which makes her immunosuppressed, and she is receiving treatments that, in my opinion, put her at risk for infection, and she'll also refuse antibiotics. That's the TLDR. Yeah. Yep.
like Sarah, she goes, I had to look at your chart 3 times. I open it, I looked. I open it again, I looked. I open it again, I looked. She goes, I couldn't believe what I saw because 12 weeks ago, in my mind, you were a stage 4 metastatic cancer patient. And we were looking at doing chemotherapy, radiation, possibly more surgery. You know, you were in for a long road and probably very low chance of survival. And she goes, I just opened your chart and there's nothing there. It's like, it's gone. The mass is gone. Your lymph nodes are back to normal. There's nothing.
She just said that it was whatever 1 centimeter. Didn't she say that it was smaller? If you're listening to this and you're convinced that she has all the answers, people have made such large jumps in science. There are more people living and surviving diseases than has ever been in all of history. So to villainize the people who have studied in the profession and the advancements that science is continuing to make because of whatever, it's not balanced. This does not work for everyone. If you didn't watch any of the Jessie Lee stuff that we covered, I demonetized all of my stuff. That was just something I wanted to do. It's still up. Jessie Lee did all of this stuff. She was juicing. She was doing the hyperbaric chamber. She was doing IV infusion. She was doing holistic, more in the Chinese medicine, Eastern medicine category. She had a port installed. It's a long story. She was eating a specific way. She wasn't doing sugar. She was doing the superheated things. She was doing the hypothermia. She was doing hyperthermia. She was doing the cold stuff too. She was doing the scan that caught her stuff was the Prenuvo full body scan. Sarah Harnisch did that too. Like, she was doing the coffee enemas. She was ingesting essential oils because somebody sent her essential oils. She was doing all this stuff. You hear Sarah Harnisch saying that she was fighting cancer 12 plus hours a day. You saw the time that Jessie Lee was spending to fight her cancer alternatively. Jessie Lee believed she was healing. And she passed away from sepsis that they believe that she got from a kidney infection that went from a kidney stone that went untreated. We saw in the middle of, like, she had an extended period of time where she was experiencing kidney pain that she didn't go to the doctor for. She was at a woo-woo clinic out in California. We were watching her special class that she did. It was a 5-day mastermind. We snuck into it, and you saw the discomfort she was in, and then you saw her stories that they had to go to the hospital to get like pain medication and stuff, and that was from the kidney stone that she probably got from getting so many vitamin C flushes. It's inside they do an IV. They're doing it every day. And because, in my opinion, she was so anti-doctor, it wasn't caught. And her immune system was compromised because she had stage 4 colon cancer. And she had a bunch of yes people around her, in my opinion, who didn't encourage her to go to the doctor. And she passed away from sepsis. So if you're thinking, wow, it's the big pharma people and it's some big conspiracy theory and people are actually able to heal themselves with alternative stuff, this is a part to whole fallacy. Sarah saying, this works for me, and just leaving it open-ended for you to make the logical fallacy that this can work for everyone, that's not reality. Let's look at the numbers. Oh my God, don't cry. I want you to have all the information. This is twisty as hell, in my opinion. Oh my God. She was sitting on the chair and Avi on the floor. And the nerve of them to say it was all part of the plan. Fuck that. She was in so much pain. Anyways, this almost like a treatment for treatment duplicate of what Jessie Lee did. And this lady's been doing it for longer. This lady did not have as aggressive of the cancer as Jessie Lee did. She doesn't have colon cancer. But the treatment is they're doing essentially identical treatments.
There's no evidence of cancer in your body anywhere. And she said, girl, I don't even know what you've been doing at home, but don't stop. Like, just keep doing it. And then the surgeon comes in and he's got this huge grin on his face and he's sitting down and he's like, we don't need to see you for 6 months. Like, you are starting the 5-year countdown now to being told.
And this is me also saying, she has had her cancer is back. I'm glad that she's alive. I'm happy. I said this at the beginning. I'm happy that her family has more time with her and has had more time with her since 2021. I'm happy, and I can also feel angry that people are going to get sucked into this. It really seems like Jessie Lee Ward could have learned this from Sarah. Yeah. I mean, it worked for Sarah. It went away, so Jessie Lee could have thought it could work for her. Yep. Yeah. I mean, this is scary in my opinion because you can watch a lot of Sarah's stuff and it's like deja vu watching Jessie Lee.
Totally cancer free. And he goes, I'm not going to tell you that it can't come back. But he goes, but as of right now, the screenshot that we have in your body, there is no cancer in your body, not in your pelvis, not in your lymph nodes. Your scan looks completely clear. And so he goes, there's 4 stages of cancer, levels. He goes, there's high risk, high intermediate, intermediate and low risk. And he said, you're a high intermediate risk case. You know, we found it outside of the uterus. We found a secondary cancer in the fallopian tube. The tumors were massive. You had lower uterine involvement, which means there was no margin when we went in to do the surgery. We couldn't leave space between where the cancer was and where it wasn't. And we still don't know if it was a centimeter outside of the vascular system that we cut out with your uterus. So he goes, it's a high intermediate risk case. He goes, I didn't expect 12 weeks after your follow-up, you know, to look at your chart and see nothing there. So he said, great job. He goes, you're a warrior, you're a survivor, and you're going to go on to live a really long life. And I asked him, I said, well, what are the chances of it coming back? And he said, based on what I've seen, I would say 10% chance.
So I feel like I do believe her because she shows her My Chart notes all the time. She's very much an oversharer. I don't know if she's actually relating the information in a way that the surgeon meant, though. That's probably not something that she's good at, but she does show her My Chart. She does show her My Chart notes. If you're not, I don't know if this is like a nationwide thing, but here in Texas, I guess she's in, where does she live? She doesn't live in Texas. All the doctors use like My Chart and they connect with your prescriptions and your notes and you can message the physician on the chart and it's all like in one place for everybody. Yep. Yeah, she flies to MD Anderson for her surgeries. So yeah, she went to MD Anderson. She went to Dallas for that Pronovo scan that Jessie Lee did. Yeah, I don't know. I think that she maybe misheard some things, but also she does show a bunch of My Chart notes on her posts.
Of it coming back. He said, now, if you look at the lymphovascular charts, they say up to a 40% chance. So it could be between 10 and 40%. But he said,
40%.
in my experience, probably 10%. He goes, I think you're good to go. I think you're going to be okay. He said,
a doctor would never say that. That is a malpractice lawsuit waiting to happen. I know for sure a doctor wouldn't have said, you're good to go. A doctor would not have said that. A cancer doctor would not have said that. So she's not repeating this as it was told to her. Cancer, like doctors do not never commit to you're going to you're going to be fine, you're good to go, all this other stuff. They will not say that. They will not say it.
now don't let your guard down. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't overschedule yourself. Keep your stress low. Get enough sleep so your body can fight, and don't miss your appointments for the next 5 years. Like, make sure you're coming in and we're taking a look and checking everything out. But he said, but right now, at this moment, there is no evidence of disease in your body. And so I have saved this for tonight. I got that 3 days ago, and it took me 3 days to process it and a lot of crying, because I liken it to like the movie of Twister, right? You're sitting at the end of the Twister movie and the tornado is just everywhere, and you got a belt and you've tied to a pipe in an outhouse, and the outhouse walls are all ripped around you and your whole world's upside down and you think you're not going to make it. I mean, I was sitting there writing letters to my kids, goodbye letters, and shooting videos and downsizing my homeschool curriculum and trying to make the house easier to manage for John. Like, we thought I was gone, for 9 months. We thought that this is it. Like, I've got maybe a year, and it's time to start thinking ahead. John went back to college. He's working on a degree that he wanted to do 25 years ago. And we thought that this was it for me, but God, then in that same scene in Twister, the tornado just disappears, right? And then they're standing there and there's debris falling from the sky. And you just stand there for a minute. And you're just like, I'm alive. I lived through that. Like, I'm still here. I'm okay. Like, I'm going to be okay. I've got decades of life in front of me. And that's kind of how I feel this week. Like, it's this overwhelming emotion of gratitude. Like, this just total.
No, she is not still okay. We read her post from yesterday, and the cancer is back. I wanted to watch this one specifically because it kind of covers like a range of what has happened. So it's more of a catch everybody up on what the hell's going on, and then we can do more in-depth videos going forward.
Total overwhelming emotion of gratitude. And then there's the secondary emotion for all of my friends that are fighting cancer right now, and just the hope that I hold for them to have the exact same outcome. And it's just an overwhelming sense of gratitude. He is so faithful, Stephanie. You're right. So I say,
so all the people who haven't had an incredible, like, miraculous move forward don't believe in God enough. Stop. He's not faithful to people who... Fine, whatever, sorry.
This for you guys.
If you're a Christian, I don't know what I am anymore. I grew up in a home that both my parents are super ethical Christians. I thought I was a Christian. I don't know what I am. But if you're a Christian, can you just be mindful when you say stuff like that, where you experienced a positive something and you say a blanket statement like God is faithful, and there's so many people out there who did not experience whatever faithfulness she's talking about. And people that, if you're categorizing like, oh, they're Christian, they should experience the faithfulness or whatever of God. I don't know I know it's kind of twisty, but it's like watching someone you love, watching multiple people you love pass away in a painful way from cancer. It is unbearable to listen to people say, oh, God is faithful when something good happens, especially when it has to do with your health. And good, wonderful people, passed away from excruciatingly painful cancer. I just want to encourage you. Have some compassion for people when you're saying stuff like that. And it doesn't feel good. Yeah. I don't know, and it's like Christians are welcome here in my chat, and I hope that any religious, ethical person feels welcome here. It is... I don't know. Just have some perspective outside of your bubble that the stuff you say isn't a rule or a sure thing, or like a law of gravity, like, oh, if you experienced good things from God, like he's faithful to whatever faithful people, and everybody else did something, wrong to not get that healing or whatever. Yeah, that's true, Amy.
I drove home for 3 days. I cried the whole 3 days, and I've been worshiping like crazy. I actually just today kicked off 40 days of just gratitude, prayer, like just being still, getting up. I'm reading through the whole book of Psalms the next 40 days, just crawling into my Abba Father's lap to just say thank you. Thank you for sparing my life. Like, I mean, I asked the surgeon how much longer would I have had, and he's like, we don't really have a way of knowing for certain, but probably weeks. Like if you had not had the surgery when you did, it was already crawling out of your vascular system and into your lymph nodes. So he said, he goes, it was close. It was very, 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 very close. So without further ado, I have a special bell that I bought at MD Anderson as I was leaving from surgery. And it's an angel, because I just feel like I was so protected in this journey. And I'm going to ring it in front of you guys because I can officially declare no evidence of disease. Cut my last hospital bracelet off, and I just want to say thank you to you guys for walking this with me, for praying alongside our family, for your checks that you sent in the mail, and cards and encouragement and notes on my page. And
Yeah, they considered her in remission.
I mean, teams. There was a team in Florida where like 150 of you guys signed a huge banner that I still have hanging down in my living room right now. And just a message to just keep going and keep fighting. And I have gotten the message, right? I've gotten the message. I'm going to ring this bell every single September 7th for the next 5 years until I get the all clear that we have beat it 100%. But in my heart, I know it's never coming back. Like it's done. I was a one and done girl, and I can move forward and do all the things that are on my heart, write the 19 books that I see in my head, and anchor news, and, and build a Royal Crown Diamond, and spend time with my grandchildren, and graduate my 2 sons that haven't graduated high school yet. And they've been homeschooled since they were 3 years old. So I've got a senior this year, and I've got a junior this year, and I get to be here with those kids and with my grandbabies. But at the same time, I also have learned a couple of lessons along the road, like taking time to be still, which is the first thing I see in my windowsill when I wake up every single day. And right up here, right? Just being still and not over scheduling and not moving with the fervor that I was moving before, at the pace that I was moving before. And it's good. Like the lessons that I've learned out of this experience are very good. Very, very good. So I just wanted to say to you that cancer can be beaten holistically. It can be light, sound, heat, oxygen, nutrition, emotion release, detoxing your body, enemas, all the things that I was doing, and 1,000 treatments this summer that we.
This is so dangerous. I'm sorry, I'm like angry watching this. She has no respect for the danger of what she's saying and what she's convincing other people to do. And this is, she's saying this and her cancer came back. She's not having any guardrails to protect people from her influence. And I would say, even if she wasn't a top leader, her influence of saying, hey, I had cancer, here's my scans, I'm cancer free, and I did it holistically, and she had surgery.
We can win the war, right? We can win the war. And there are more ways than just chemo and radiation. There's more to it out there. And that God gave us, He gave us amazing things to heal our body in the plants, in the coffee, right? With the coffee enemas. And you're right, Anna, you said we're entering the cancer journey. It's not easy. It's not easy. There's many days you feel hopeless. I know what despair feels like for the first time in my life. Like I know despair is getting up and seeing your husband sobbing next to you. There's one story I'll never forget. John, my husband, loves fake Christmas trees, and I'm a real tree girl. Like I want my whole house smelling like pine tree. And if he is going to get a tree, he wants to get the smallest tree he can possibly get. He wants to Charlie Brown that thing. And this year I walked out and we had like a 14-foot tree. It was huge. It went like 3/4 of the way up my wall, and had the whole thing decorated, and the whole house smelled like pine for like a month and a half. And it was the most amazing thing. But he told me.
Can you imagine? This is in 2020. This is in 2022. Can you imagine how many people she convinced to do the alternative route, and like, if they didn't survive, that she convinced people that all of her methods worked to keep her cancer free, and she has cancer again? And if the people that she influenced didn't survive between 2022 and 2025, I just can't. Damn.
Told me the reason that he had gotten it was because he wasn't sure if I was going to be around for next Christmas. And he wanted me to have the most amazing Christmas of my life. And to wake up and see your husband crying next to you and see the motivation behind the decisions and see a distancing of your family from you because they don't want to get too close because they're worried that they're going to build memories, you know, that, and then they're going to lose me, right? They're going to be close and they're going to lose me. And so there was just a lot emotionally this year and a lot of valleys to walk through. But right around Christmas time, I had found this picture that I've talked to you guys about here on this page before. And it was a picture of Jesus sticking his hand through the water and he was reaching down for Peter, right? And so in those moments where I'm just feeling totally overwhelmed and completely hopeless, I sometimes I didn't even have the words to speak when we saw the size of the tumor, when they had to go in and do the vertical incision.
I'm sure she did influence Jessie Lee. I mean, this was in 2022. I don't know.
When I blacked out from pain after the surgery, when I was vomiting for 2 weeks from the pain, we couldn't get the pain levels under control. When I had to learn how to walk again, when we thought we were done and went back in and found a whole nother tumor on the right side of my pelvis, whole nother 5-centimeter tumor after I just coming through that horrible surgery and getting the pathology report and just it's such a roller coaster, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? So in those moments when I felt totally alone, I would just say, God, I trust you. God, I trust.
This is religious manipulation. It's just... Oh my God.
Trust you, I 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 trust you. And sometimes I had to say it out loud because I didn't believe it in my head. In my heart believed it, but I didn't believe it in my head. And I just felt like God was whispering back to me, Sarah, I got you. I got you, I got you, I got you, I got you. And even in those moments when I had to pray, Lord, you might say no. Like you might say no. This could be the end. Like 43 could be my last year on the earth. And you might say no. Even in those moments, you know, I could still feel his presence.
She's younger. She's younger than Aaron. She already has 8 grandkids.
There. And I remember that prayer that I prayed back in November. God, I'm okay if you take me.
Maybe she's a little bit older than
It's
Aaron.
gonna hurt. I'm gonna miss my
She's
kids and
1
my
year.
grandkids so much. But I'm okay. I'm okay if that's what your will is in this situation. And more people come to know you because I'm gone. And through my death, then I'm okay. I'm all right. But if you let me stay, God, praise your name. And if you take me, God, praise your name. Like, praise your name, praise your name. I'm not going to scorn you because it's not the outcome that I want. That's not the right answer, right? And so I felt despair this year, and I felt alone this year, and I felt very scared this year, and I felt so many emotions that I've never felt before, never in my life if I felt them before. But there's a great big God that loves you, and he will never leave you, and he will never forsake you. Not ever. Not ever. Like, he's still there. He's still there in the valleys. And whew, I wanted you to know that. So those of you that are out there and you're fighting cancer right now, or you got a family member who's fighting cancer, or maybe you're taking care of a family member and you're just very, very overwhelmed, or your health is not where it needs to be. And maybe it's not cancer, but you're very, very overwhelmed. I just wanted you to know that he's still there. All right. And he's not going to leave you, and he's not going to forsake you. Lisa said, I lost my 44-year-old husband to cancer. It's such a hard road, and despair is real. And I'm so happy for you. Thank you, friend. Thank you. Thank you. I am overwhelmed by you guys and overwhelmed by your strength. Your strength carried me through so many times in this journey. I would get up in the middle of the night and somebody would write me right in the moment when I was in really bad pain, or a box would come in the mail and somebody had handmade a quilt, or a team, like 150 people, signed a huge banner, that I've got hanging downstairs. And, part of this journey is having you guys and having friends and family to walk it with you. And you guys have been such a source of strength for our family. So I wanted you to know we're shutting the GoFundMe down. I have no evidence of disease. I am going to say out loud that I am cured. Whether the surgeon will say it or not, I will say that I am cured. And I'm just so grateful because we were able to use that income to get to MD Anderson, to pay for our children, to be there for the surgery, their hotel expenses, all the things that insurance doesn't cover. You guys were there for us 10,000%. And I will give to GoFundMe's the rest of my life after having walked this and knowing how difficult it is financially, relationally, spiritually. The spiritual battle, the emotional battle is real. Like, it is so real when you're fighting cancer. So
even if she wasn't in an MLM, this is twisty, obviously. The fact that she is touting this as what saved her, even though surgery was the most meaningful part of her cancer fighting. People in Young Living who are already in the health and wellness / super alternative space, I cannot imagine the damage that this kind of influence is doing. And having this done in 2022, and the potential that it influenced Jessie Lee to fight alternatively in a, I'd say uneducated way. Maybe that's not the right term. Because even Jessie Lee had surgery. I don't know. This is hard. Experience a lot of emotions right now. And it's hard to articulate. No, you're good, Kathy, and ethical people like you are welcome here. For sure. Yeah, I don't want to make the chat an uncomfortable place for anybody. I do hope watching this maybe adds an additional facet and a perspective for ethical Christians about the way they're saying things. This is it's just difficult.
So I've got so many books in my head. The first one's going to be called Adversity, and it's going to share a little bit of my cancer story in it. But also it's written for the Young Living community to encourage them. And I have more. I have so many more, and I'm excited that I get to write again. I feel like I can open my laptop and not feel guilty about that because I should be fighting cancer at that moment, right? I feel like up until now, it's just been fight, 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 fight. And now I get to have a little bit of myself back, and I get to do some of the things that I love. And I'm not going to stop fighting. You're still going to see posts of me going for just routine checkups, checking in with MD Anderson every 6 months, checking with Hope for Cancer every 6 months. I'm still going to be getting IVs and doing cancer treatment, but I'm calling it remission treatment because there isn't anything in there, and there is never going to be anything in there ever again.
The doctor that she's seeing there's one that she's seeing a whole team in Tijuana. It's called Hope for Cancer. There's one in Cancun as well. And they treat cancer holistically. So I don't know who, I'm sure it's naturopathic or nothing wrong with naturopathy if you're also a medical doctor, in my opinion. But I don't know who her doctor is. We've looked into the facility in Tijuana and Cancun, and it doesn't seem, I don't know. It seems fishy to me. But
ever again. And I'm going to ring this bell every September 7th over and over and over and over and over again and pray that everybody hears the sound of hope. All right. If you think that the only way that you can fight this is radiation and chemotherapy, I'm alive and standing in front of you to tell you that there is more than one way to get from point A to point B.
God.
And if your heart is not in that place, it's not in the place of chemo and radiation, you don't have a peace on it, it's okay to stand your ground. But I'm also want to speak to all my holistic friends and tell you that Western medicine saved my life. That if we had not gone in and cut that tumor out when we did, this is a huge shout out to all the nurses that are out there, all the doctors that are out there, all the surgeons that are out there, to modern medicine out there as well.
Good
I
for
was
you.
very scared going in. I was very skittish, but if I hadn't gone, I wouldn't be here right now. Like this.
I'm glad she said that. She gets kudos for that. At least she said that. I wish she had said it earlier and throughout. At least she said that.
This would have been the end for me, probably sometime this year, with how close it was getting to my lymph. So I'm so thankful for the nurses that came and helped and made me comfortable and helped with my pain and all of the post-op recovery stuff and the pre-op stuff. And I'm thankful to MD Anderson. I did not have a negative experience there at all. It was very positive. I'm super grateful to Hope for Cancer because I think that played the role in getting the stuff out of my body that was still remaining after surgery. And I'm thankful to my husband and my kids who've been so strong through all of this and just held my hand and carried me. Even my 2 teenagers this whole last week drove 40 hours with me out to MD Anderson, sat through my MRI, held my hand through all the IVs that I had this week. And I'm just so grateful. So this is my shout out to you guys to let you know that I am cured. I am cancer free. I'm healthy. I am whole. And I'm praising my Savior with a heart of gratitude that I don't think I have ever felt as strongly as I do now. I feel like I'm a totally different person than I was 9 months ago. I've learned how to rest. I've learned how to emotionally release. I've learned how to do the things I want to do from a place of less stress. I've learned how to slow down a little bit. I've learned how to listen a little bit more. I've definitely learned how to have gratitude for the things that the Lord has given me in my friendships and in health. And I've learned so many things about nutrition and about emotionally releasing things and not holding on to stuff and about healing the body and what.
And again, this is twisty. You see this in when she said, I'm very grateful for Western medicine. You see the small kernels of truth that are dropped in the middle of something twisty. Or if you're dealing with someone who adds just enough truth in the midst of all the maladaptive ways or the unhealthy ways that they're interacting with you, that it confuses you. It confuses your reality. You can kind of see that here. Oh, well, she's not that bad because she at least acknowledged Western medicine in the middle of this talk. I don't know if one nod to Western medicine balances out the way that her other words what's the right word? The way that her other words seem to detest Western medicine as well. So I have more questions, and just reading, I've been following her for a long time. It's hard to communicate the twistiness of what she does that is confusing and dangerous, and I guess kind of a blight on the misinformation landscape. And I'm happy she's doing well. I'm happy her kids get to have their mom. I'm happy her grandkids get to have their grandma. I'm happy she's still alive. I don't like her ideas and the way she communicates and how that alienates people from being able to decide what they need from a health perspective, from a whole range, instead of her tainting this very viable section of tools that people can do to fight for their health. I'm not explaining it good.
What it takes for the body to be whole. And so many things that I had taken for granted that I will never take for granted again, ever, not ever. So look for September 7th. Every year I'll pop on, and I'm still going to continue putting posts up of the treatment that I'm doing, because I don't get the full all clear until the 5-year mark. So let's see, it's 2022, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So in 2027, I have the full all clear mark, and then there's less than a 1% chance. Was MD Anderson in awe? Yeah. The doctor came in and she looked at my chart 3 times. She opened it, closed it, opened it, closed it, opened it, closed it. And she came over and gave me a huge bear hug. And she goes, I don't understand what I'm looking at. It doesn't make any sense to me. You were a stage 4 metastatic cancer patient. Like, I don't understand. We were sure it was in your lymph. We were sure that there was a new tumor in the right side of your pelvis, and it's gone. Like, it's gone. And I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. So they were preparing for surgery, and I was preparing for no evidence of disease. And that is what the Lord gave. And praise his name, right? Praise his name. My pelvis is totally clear. So thank you, warriors, for warring beside me. I love you guys so much. And I'm going to keep you updated on these 6-month checkups. There's going to be nothing to report on, but I will keep you updated, and I'll keep showing you the treatments that I'm doing at home. I'm going to downsize them a little bit, so they're not taking me 5-6 hours a day to do, but I'm definitely not stopping at all. I'm just kind of spreading it out so that I can still be a mom and a lolly and all the things that I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed to be able to continue to do. So I love you guys. Thank you for walking the journey with me and for being there. I'm going to be on stage this week for the first time since I got diagnosed. So if any of you guys are in Raleigh, North Carolina, and you want to come out, I'll post the link for that so that you can see and grab tickets. And I got a few butterflies in my stomach, so I would appreciate some people in the crowd that I recognize and give me strength. But yeah, Karen's had such a great outlook to recognize Western medicine and holistic. Yes, actually, the book that I write on this will focus on that it's okay. I know there's a lot of my friends fighting holistically that feel like they're doing the wrong thing by doing chemo. Chemo is poison. We know that, right? Even the people administering it know it, but sometimes it's the only way to survive. You know, even Hope for Cancer does them side by side. If you're a stage 4 patient, they do offer low dose chemo to you in addition to the holistic stuff to clean it up so you're not so sick. And I have a lot of respect. I mean, my worldview has shifted a little bit. I was very, very anti-Western medicine going into this and very afraid to walk into the oncology world. And God's like, oh, you're afraid? I'm going to throw you in up above your head. And you're going to have the experience of your lifetime learning what all of this looks like. And so it just taught me a lot about the sacrifices of the nurses and doctors and all the different people in Western medicine. I mean, I wouldn't be here right now. I know that if I left that tumor in, I would be in a very bad place right now. So the surgery was necessary. I was very thankful to avoid the chemo and the radiation. I didn't even know a month ago if I was going to be able to avoid chemo and radiation, but God said yes. He said yes. So So ring the bell, right? Ring the bell. Thank you for celebrating with me, and for being there, and for being a source of strength for John and me and the kids. It's been a crazy 9 months, but I think it's made all of us stronger, and it's a miracle, right? It's a miracle. It's amazing that the sound that God created, and the light that God created, and the heat that God created, and the oxygen that God created, and the coffee beans that God created,
and the scientific advancements, and fuck that.
And the oils that God created, and the good foods that he put on the earth with the vegetables and the fruits and the things that he's given us can heal the body, right? They can heal. They can even heal.
How do you even think that science has advanced? Where do you think it advanced from?
Cancer. Can even heal cancer, right? God is so good. And I will praise his name forever. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Well, we did it. So just as a recap,
hey guys, this is Sarah Harnisch.
And, her cancer, we read the post. I'm not going to read it again. She has things that are growing back. She is not choosing to do surgery at this time. She had the option to remove her ovaries at this time. She has been still doing updates on her cancer. And I'm going to continue to cover this. I can't cover it every week because too emotional, but I don't know. I think it's important to talk about because of the influence she has in the Young Living community, the influence she has in the holistic community. But if you're on the replay crew or even live chat, if y'all want to stay posted on this, let me know. It helps knowing like what y'all want to continue being updated on. But I don't know what Chrissy said. Yeah, she literally did a walkthrough on all the extreme treatments she has in her house. She is not a reasonable person. So where in Genesis are we supposed to put coffee up our bums? Good question. Oh, she's in South Carolina. Got it. She's a diamond in Young Living. So diamond, crown diamond, royal crown diamond. So she's 2 spots away from the top. She's been a diamond for a long time. It is hard to get to royal crown diamond. The only person I know who's done it really fast kind of cheated the system. But I don't know. I don't have a really good wrap up for this. Hubby wants to know what Dora says in Spanish. And that we did it. Yo, you see, I think it's, I did it, or we did it. Oh, lo hicimos means we did it. Lo hicimos. My bad. I'm not reading it right. It's lo hicimos. Lo hicimos. Sorry. Hicimos. Sorry to everybody who speaks Spanish in the chat. Thank you, Marie. All right. I guess we need to do Dora. And then we'll be done. I'll give you an update on what we're doing the rest of the week. And hopefully you can come join the streams that interest you. And if you think that someone's going to be helped from like one of the specific type of streams that I did or one of the videos I did on a specific company, feel free to share my videos out. And let me just do Adora. Yay! We did it. Lo hicimos. All right. We're going to be covering Singular this week. We're going to be covering, I did change it too. We're going to do one Nueva stream. We're going to be covering, let me just look at my notes. Singular, Nilo Life. Oh, we have a Nilo Life Zoom about Nilo Life 2.0. We're going to be doing a Tori Cuevas. I'm not pronouncing that right, but Cuevas. A patch. I think it's LifeWave. One of the patches companies, the patch healed her night blindness and her internal issues. That's pretty wild. So we've got a few fun ones coming up. We may even do a day stream, but I have to do some appointments this week. I don't know this lady personally. She was just someone that we were kind of told to look up to, and I read her book called. I have the book. We could go over it. It's something to silver. Game plan. It's called Game Plan. The complete strategy guide to go from starter kit to silver. I have the Kindle version of this because I was told to buy it. And it's wild. So, take care. Drink your whatever. Hydrate. Don't forget to take your meds. Don't forget to eat. It's good for your mental and physical health. And remember that we don't drink the Kool-Aid here. We analyze the ingredients. And I'm going to make sure that I work on an outro this week. Members, we might do that Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know. See you later. Bye.